But big change starts small, that's how it can be. Ideas can grow from the simplest spark.
This is you producing?
Yep.
Wow. You got some talent.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm having a blast. It's great.
Awesome. Well, look at on that, you heard a little bit of intro music. JD is the man of many talents. First of all, thank everybody for watching and listening. This is dedicated to educating anybody that's an inventor or entrepreneur. And the first line that someone handed me here is, and I'm going to ask you, why do you believe an educated inventor makes a great client, JD?
Absolutely. Thanks, Peter, and thanks 52 Launch for having me on. I'm JD Houvener, owner, founder, and patent attorney at Bolt Patents Law Firm. In a really fun position to be able to lead this firm and serve inventors that have everything on the line. These are solo, sometimes first-time inventors, small teams, spin-offs that are making their big jump, their big leap of faith into a new product, the cornerstone of what might become their business. And so it's an honor to be able to help those inventors. And so education is so important. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm on YouTube. I mean, this goes back maybe 10 years ago. And I love it because it's a mystery still to a lot of individuals. And I'm realizing that even more now than ever, that there are a lot of individuals out there that wouldn't even consider themselves an inventor. And I love this, as what a lot of my music is getting at, is speaking to the everyday person that has an inventor's heart and sort of discredits themselves, right? Doesn't appreciate the fact that they could be and are an inventor. And then the whole education process is just making sure they have a level playing field, make sure they have as much information as a serial inventor, as someone in corporate America, so they know what they're getting into and can make a really good decision going forward.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned 10 years ago. I think the last 10 years, what's really changed is 3D printers. But 10 years ago, the first 3D printer was pretty freaking cool, right? And you're like, wow, I could see something come to life the minute I dreamed it, right? Like, we're now in a position where we're in a maker economy. The new entrepreneur, the new inventors are going to be able to think of an idea, download the software, make a CAD model, get it 3D printed, and start selling it. Creativity is there. My goal is turning an idea into a business. And so this is where you and I have gotten along. Like, it really is. Anybody can start a new product business. You don't have the roadblocks that you did 10 years ago where you had to wait for a retailer to tell you it was a good idea or not a good idea. You can go directly to consumer now, right? But the overall part is, if you're putting any investment in this without thinking about the education part of it, how do I get my money back? And how do I make this into a side hustle as a first base step? Never mind, how do I turn this into a home run business? Let's get a brand to first base. For me, it's having a good written patent, it's got a trademark, it's got inventory, it's got a website that we can sell, and that we've got some fulfillment process in the back end that I can deliver someone that's ordered a product in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, right.
Right, and as long as we're not selling fruits and vegetables, my inventory doesn't go bad. So I can be patient on first base and wait for someone to bunt me on the second, someone to hit a fly ball.
Yeah, I think it's access to justice. I believe was one of the mottos, sort of the big, huge headliners at my law school, and I didn't really fully grasp it. It sounded sort of, a little too fluffy. It didn't really land. It actually applies to patent law and intellectual property more than ever. I've taken it to heart. So anyone that has an invention should have access to the best counsel possible, and we're that solution. Oftentimes, we're the first attorney that these people reach out to, and so they're like, what can I tell you? Can I trust you? Who are you? And it's a huge honor to be that trusted person that they can share this grand vision with, and you help put something down. You help create that confidence, which I tell our attorneys, that's actually what we sell.
Right.
We sell confidence. We give them something to hang on to that they can use as a leap forward. And once you have something concrete that you believe in and you can point to and say, someone else believes in me too, it's the confidence, it's a step in the right direction, and it's exciting to be a part of that journey when someone has that desire to bring something about in the real world.
Well, look, I can validate that. We've been working together now for, 2-3 years, and
Yeah.
a lot of shared mutual clients, right? everyone needs to be educated on two parts. How do I protect the idea? Can I make money with this? And that's really where I want to complete the circle. I think we should have those conversations. If someone lands on this page, they get the access to both of us directly and set up an appointment. The consultation is free so that we can help better process and educate you. There's a lot of videos that we both have out there. And again, my next question is, why do you create books and videos? I know I've read your Bold Patent books. You probably have one there, or maybe you don't. Plug time.
Yeah. Well, I would just being real candid. I mean, the book, my initial intent was I want to show up differently. And a book does that. And I published my first edition, 9-10 years ago. And it's like a big fancy business card that people don't throw away. So that is sort of my first and foremost. But then, the videos found that I feel better if I can really convey a strong message in a short, quick way to convey something complex simply. I want to try to do that. And that's what these videos are for.
Look, we do the same thing. I love when someone gets on a call with me, that's been educated because they've heard my podcast. Like, I'd rather you be educated before you hire me. A lot of people, they think this is an easy process. Oh, how much, it can't be that much work. I mean, I can just go do this myself. Good luck. My best client are people that have hired other people and it's failed them.
Yeah.
Then they understand the value of what we do.
Yep. So, XYZ dropouts. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this is maybe something you and I can work on together. I'm not convinced that I can educate someone who's not listening. Like you just said, that statement you had at school didn't hit hard, that justice is for everyone.
Yeah.
Because once you grew and you understood what that meant, that is when it became impactful.
Yes.
And so that's the challenge I have in the education process. The minute you wake up, you think this is easy, everybody can do it. And what's the adage there? Like, if it was, everybody would be doing it. So, the few front runners like yourself, ourselves, the coalition and the partnership that we create, I think is fantastic. We're not just talking about the IP for protecting the idea at a provisional level. We're talking about long-term. I want it for an exit strategy. I needed the trademark for advanced services, all those reasons so that I can kick other people off or be protected when someone does knock you off is super important. And it's really hard to understand that until you've gone through the mud to get there.
Absolutely. I like with companies that really recognize and give proper authority and attention to those that have gotten rights, gone through the process of registering. It's awesome. And they're always working on getting better.
I follow what gives my client the best benefit, but I love your perspective. They did it because there's a good reason for it.
Yeah.
Right? And they acknowledge that if you did this, like you get privileged positioning with them because it matters to them, which is fantastic.
Yep. It makes them look bad, right? If there's a bunch of knockoffs, it makes them look like they don't know who their clients are, who their resellers are.
When we first started, you had the music. We had a little music in the background.
Yep.
So, help us understand. You're going to start singing about patents.
No, not my voice. I'm a producer. It's funny, man. I'm having a great time. I like music. I love music, all kinds. I mean, classic rock, punchy EDM stuff, electronics. Rock. But it's always for me been this thing that I do outside of work, right? And 15 years, 20 years into my career, I'm like, whoa, I can actually have some fun with this at work. Now I'm playing with AI. It's great. And so these words, the way I get them, the lyrics, come from the videos I do. These ones that I've compressed and got 3 minutes of really good messaging. Like, I'm not an inventor. Okay, so this is one of the classic objections that I want to speak to recently in my videos. Because I think a lot of people say that. Everyday people, I'm not an inventor. What do you mean? But you have ideas.
Right.
You're a human.
That's in my scenario. I've heard 25,000 ideas. My first question is, what's your next idea? And the next one's even better. People have multiple ideas, and they just don't know how to execute on it, and they don't know how to protect it. It's important to understand what the real end goal is. You're either writing a patent to just place on your wall, and that's good. There's patent writers that will do that. There's patents that you will need protection to utilize it one day. For me, it's simply like I'm trying to build businesses, so I want them for exit strategies. If you have an idea and your cost of acquisitions are there, your margins are there, which is all part of what I do, the next goal is just showing that there's volume of sales and letting someone else either buy you out. If you spent your first 5 to 10 years making a good living, with your side hustle, you have that number and you have a patent that's still good for 10 years. You can sell an idea when it's executed. You can't sell it when it's just in a concept on a napkin with a patent. Just doesn't.
Yeah. You have to be much more thoughtful about what your business plan is, and it's something we talk with our clients about. And it's we're patent attorneys. If someone asks us to write a patent, we're like, oh, we're pretty biased. We like writing patents. But one thing we've always done is take a really hard look. We call it a patentability opinion, and we've delivered it for the whole time I've been doing it, for 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
And it's a really hard look at what's been done before. Can we get a patent on this invention? And if so, what is the scope of rights? What could we foreseeably, what do we think we can get a patent for you on? And do you want to go spend what might be 10 or 20 grand chasing that? And think hard about it. And so I feel really good about delivering that piece of advice. And if someone wants to go on a super narrow patent because they believe in it so much and the market's so ready they believe, we're behind them.
The other side, in order to go with the patent, you need inventory. You need a business plan. You need to have a model that, you can't just protect thin air. There's millions of patents that are written that will never produce a product. How enforceable are those? If someone does it, I don't feel that you should be able to sit on an idea unless you're willing to execute on it. Not for selfish reasons, but I do think the intent of the patent law is to make sure that if you bring something unique to market, that you have protection to go and get it without having to worry over your shoulder that someone's knocking you off.
Yeah. Well, people come at it with lots of different angles, and I'll call it passion levels. Yeah. I think on the low end, I think you hit the nail on the head where you've got these, call them academics, right? That I don't know, they just, for ego reasons, they want to put a plaque up on the wall. That's not fun. That doesn't feel good.
No.
That doesn't serve the policy purpose behind patents. Reward inventors for sharing their invention with the world, right? That's the exchange. It's a currency. It's a monetary incentive to exclude competitors for a limited period, and it should be exploited.
And you use the right word there. If you have a patent and you have the product to go with that patent, you should be able to exploit the market all you can. That's the advantage. Look at, if you're looking to talk to both JD and I, JD will write you the best patent. If you want us to both be on the call, I'm looking for that strategy where we're going to boldly go forward. We're going to make sure that, first of all, in my world, the question has to be, can this sell? Does it have the solution? And what do I have to do to demonstrate it, right? Because just like you have to demonstrate to the patent attorney or to the patent office that there's something unique here, guess what? The consumer is the same way. The reality is I have a bunch of consumers out there that would buy it if we pass their test. Does this solve a problem that I have? Do I recognize the problem that you're solving? And, is it in the price point that makes reasonable sense for me to buy it? Everybody needs to think like they should be an inventor. Everybody should have a side hustle product job that, work on it. Like everyone works on a side hustle to start a business. Should work on a product business because the only thing that sells in the middle of the night is products. If you do your job, everything else that you do that you have to touch means you have to put hours in. Products are the only thing that I can do, put all the work in up front and just be patient, put marketing dollars to it, put some effort into social media. We're down at, I don't know if you're familiar, but in the Boston area, we have the Seaport District. There's a section down there that turns into Snowport. It's like a winter festival, but it's all merchants, it's all food. We're down there this year. One of our clients has been down there for the last 3 years, really opened our eyes to not just going online, but being physically in a spot where there's going to be 1.6 million people that walk through Snowport this year. Yeah. Every day we're selling something, right? And we've got 13 or 15 of our clients' projects in there that are new.
Wow. Yes. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Yeah. I love hearing those stories of inventors, clients that I've served selling a product.
It's pretty cool. We saw just amazing growth and all their journey is incredible. They deserve all the credit they can. They came up with the idea and they really executed on it. So, being part of the early stages is something that's all I want to help more people do.
Yes. There's, I think it's wonderful what you do. And when I get a referral from you guys, those clients are incredibly well positioned, knowing what they want, have a clear idea of what their product, what their commercialization plan is. having a vision, a clear understanding of where you're going is really powerful. So I encourage anyone that watches this to start with 52 Launch. You mentioned it kind of initially. What type of product is this? What kind of sales are we going to, what should you target in terms of the product or, price point and margins? So you can kind of appreciate that as you weigh investing or not into a patent, or a trademark, right? Timing is super important. I think having 52 Launch that has been there and done that, knows specific types of products and timelines. A year goes by so fast, months go by really fast. And it just, to have someone right there helping you while you're, by the way, running your business and inventing and handling all the money and doing all the day in, day out, having someone that can guide you through is really important, irreplaceable. So that's,
well, and like I can't take credit. Everything we've learned has been all organically understood. What can I shortcut? What can't? What are the vital aspects? Like, again, for my approach, it's just, how do I get the sales as quickly as I can? Because I'm dealing with the everyday people that are bringing a product to market. And I take that very seriously. Every one of my clients matters to me. I can't guarantee success. I can't, but I can assure you that we're not going to fail. Because if I have to take you to Snowport, if we have to go find a place to go and run product, we'll find it. It's just, like I said, we're not dealing with fruit. We're dealing with product that, even if it sits on a shelf for a couple of years till we figure it out, whatever it takes to get to the next step, and being protected while you're doing that is so vital to this whole thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been something that really sort of kept me up at night, honestly, for the first 5, 7, 8 years, for a long time. When an inventor struggles to bring their product to market, I feel like, they spent 20 grand with me and they're like floundering now. And so I've always tried to find places to refer them out, try to get them in the best hands possible. And, I connected with you, and I'm sending them to you, and it's really hard to find a good place because it's lonely as an entrepreneur, and it's hard. So we recently started, I'm doing a new service called IP brokering, which is, for those that don't want to do a business, don't want to develop a product, and want to try to find a license or someone to buy their patent. Hard as hell. Very, very challenging and almost impossible if you don't have a prototype, you don't have any sales. But because so many of these people are out there that are looking for that, I am representing them, trying to go find them. So I'm doing some of that reaching out to start conversations. But I'm telling you right now, that is probably the hardest way to make money.
I will tell you the reason why. The first 5 years, the top 3 questions: what are your sales? What are your margins? And which retailers have you reached out to? Now in the last 5 years, what are your sales? What's your cost of acquisition? And what are your margins? I wanted to answer those questions as quickly as we could. Your first 10,000 sales is finding your army of vocal enthusiasts for your product.
Yep.
That's when you reach a tipping point. That's when you start going over and that feedback starts coming back. You got to spend money to make money, but you can do it slowly, right? A/B testing is so important. All the things that most people do, and again, just being out in public, going face to face. The one thing we learned the hard way is in inventors, the passion they have about their product is incredible.
Yes.
The passion does not translate when they're standing to sell it in front of somebody. It's like they get so scared that they're going to get rejected. And the reality is you are going to get rejected. Move on from them. Your audience is coming behind them. You have to be patient in the sales process. And when you are, that is the people that get rewarded. And that's the part that, like, again, we explain every day. And again, we're always trying to make it go faster. That's why, again, we're working on getting the patents to you earlier so I can at least get a provisional. Then I can go into full disclosure. We can start talking to people, showing them what we have, and doing A/B testing earlier, building lists, and then finding our target voice early so that we can launch with maybe some pre-sales. And that is hard. It's in a short period of time.
Totally. Yeah, I think that to do it right, you've got to have the right financing, and not all clients have it. And that has been a tough nut to crack. Tough conversations to have. We at Bold, we do our best to create bite-sized chunks so clients can take known steps, at known fixed fees without any surprise hourly billings.
It's the fear of missing out that unlocks your funding. When people see a brand, when they see the patent, when they see a prototype, like you said, when you understand your costs. So everything we offer in the Accelerator program is to answer those questions. Even if you didn't have the money for the production order at that point, it unlocks because I give you every answer you can so someone can make an educated decision to be partnering with you. All I really need you to do is be confident that this is what you want to do, and I will make sure that you get through the process successfully. I wouldn't let you hire us if I didn't think your product could sell. I want to educate people, and I don't care if they come back to me in 10 years from now. I want to make sure that there's enough education out there that they can do it the right way, get the product to market, and be the leader in this industry with partners like you to help us get there.
Man, you're awesome, Peter. I mean, seriously, hearing you talk makes me want to come up with a product. I'm not like I'm serious. Like you give so much confidence. So you really do, the way you speak and your values. It's just, I want to invent. I want to come up with something.
Well, I've lived it for 10 years. It was an idea that I had 15 years ago. I couldn't do it until I met Dan.
Right.
He was the manufacturing side of this. I knew that we could produce it. I've always been confident that I know consumers, it's my background, but show me something that the market needs, it sells itself. You just have to promote it. So, but appreciate hearing that, JD. And look, I will give you the same credit. Like, it is really hard to find a patent attorney that has that same, I don't want to use the word ethics, but the same, like, here's where I can really help you, right? I'm not just here to write a patent. I'm here to help you change your life, do something that's meaningful. I agree. I would get so disappointed if I was writing patents that didn't commercialize into like a physical tangible. I picture your wall and my wall. Like, I want to show all the products that are on the wall that we patented, protected. I mean, I have it out here in the showroom, but to me, the proof is the deliverable. Here's the product out in the market that's selling.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I think it takes a while to figure out the right formula, but I'm getting closer. And working with you in 52 Launch, I feel really confident. This type of relationship is a winning combination. We talked on financing. I think that's sort of maybe the perhaps third link to just perfection. If you got money, the right advice, the right protection, sky's the limit. It does take a fire in the belly kind of an entrepreneur to really drive it.
When we first started, we moved into a basement because I said we have to be the startup for startups, and like, you can't get lower on the totem pole than that, right? We're going to start. No money. We're starting a business with no capital, and we're going to be a startup for startups. And we purposely did not invest anything other than pure time, effort, and our expertise. And that's what we built it from. So the perspective of having fire in the belly, man, that you couldn't have nailed it more on the head. The fire in the belly is the most important thing.
It is. Oh, it's fantastic. Well, cool. Thank you for having me on the show here today. I'm excited to be with you on perhaps another one we can do.
Look, this is, anybody that watches this video, if you've got questions for JD or myself, we're accessible to you. We're here to educate you. These calls are free. We want to help you write the best patent and get your product to market collectively. And this is where it starts. And I appreciate everybody that watched and listened. If you're not the entrepreneur, please like this, share this. There's going to be some other videos that you can click on to watch and learn more about both of our companies. So I appreciate everyone's time. JD, I appreciate yours as always, and look forward to growing bigger and better companies with you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Peter.
All right. Enjoy, guys. Everyone, thank you very much for watching.